Has Prince Harry's latest legal defeat changed the conversation about his long-running battle with the media? Or will it simply reinforce opinions that were already firmly in place? In today's discussion, commentator Megyn Kelly delivers one of her strongest critiques yet following Prince Harry's court loss against a major British newspaper. The conversation explores the legal ruling, Harry's approach to privacy in the press, and whether his strategy over the past several years has helped or harmed his public image. It also touches on the broader challenges that come with living life as a high-profile public figure. As you watch, pay close attention to the reasoning behind each argument. This isn't just about one court case, it's also about accountability, public perception, and where the line should be drawn between protecting privacy and accepting the scrutiny that often comes with fame. Before we begin, I'd love to hear your opinion. Do you think Prince Harry has been treated unfairly by the media over the years, or do you believe this latest ruling changes the conversation? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy balanced discussions on major news stories and current affairs, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now let's watch the clip together, and I'll share my thoughts once it's over.
How could I not ask you about Prince Harry? He couldn't have lost bigger in his court case against newspapers in the UK. Multiple 100-page judgment, basically didn't win a single count. Now he may have to pay millions.
Paul, it's yet another instance of Harry playing the fake victim. He's been railing about this case for years now. He thinks of himself as some sort of an avenger of, speech issues where he's going to punish the ones who tell lies or use surreptitious means in journalism to obtain facts about public figures, poor embattled public figures like Harry and Meghan, and really thought he'd be truth to power. I'm going to sue. That's all they ever do. These two sue every journalist, it seems, who writes something negative about them. We're constantly reading about their latest lawsuit. And this one, he was completely wrong. The Daily Mail, to its credit, put on a bunch of journalists, the ones who had been accused of using illicit means as a way of getting stories on Harry and others. And all the journalists said, tell me what you're accusing me of. No, that's not how I got that story at all. This is how I got that story. And, as much as a journalist doesn't like to give up his or her source, the exposing the means by which you amassed your information was necessary here because they were being accused of essentially breaking the law. So he was wrong. He's got a sick sense of paranoia. I'm sorry that his mother died in the way she did when he was a young boy. Really, you should be joining MAD if you're upset over that. Mothers Against Drunk Driving, or Families Against Drunk Driving. His mother was killed by a drunk driver, not by the paparazzi. She was followed by the paparazzi all the time. She knew that. She coaxed the paparazzi into following her and taking her picture all the time. She knew how to work them just as well as anyone. And so this whole narrative about how she's just completely been piled on, and then poor Harry's been now fighting to stop it from happening to Meghan. That's why he's got to do these press fights. It's a lie. It was a lie from the first acorn all the way now through to the big tree that he continues to nourish. And I think it's wonderful that the Daily Mail fought back, that he's been humiliated. And if he has to pay some massive legal fees as a result of being wrong, because over there in the UK, it is loser pays, unlike here in America, where generally everybody takes their own and walks away. Good. Maybe that'll really teach him a lesson. And you didn't prove your case. You had the opportunity to prove your case. You failed to do so. That's how the legal system works. Yes, no, he's never seen a situation in which he is not the victim. And he enjoys being the victim. That fake car chase was one of the greatest examples where there was no car. You cannot have a car chase in New York City. Anybody who's visited New York City knows you can't go 2 square blocks without hitting a red light or a biker or a delivery man that will slow your roll. But secondly, remember in their documentary on Netflix, used very loosely, how, she was pretending like, oh, is he gone yet? Is he still there? It was one guy on a Vespa. They tried to make it sound like they were being surrounded by hordes of paparazzi. It was one dude on a Vespa. I mean, I'm sure you've been chased by more when you re-sign your deal with Sky News. It's ridiculous how they lie to us. And on top of all of that, so given the fact that he was raised a royal, and yes, that is involuntary fame, that was not his doing, but that he had his opportunity with Megxit. This was the big opportunity. Leave the royal family. Leave the titles behind if you really don't want this anymore. Go live in Canada or Montecito. We got stuck with them here. But actually become a private citizen. Become a private person. Do your charity work quietly and without the constant need for the spotlight. Stop with your wife's disaster tourism, showing up at the scene where children have been murdered and putting yourself on camera. The constant need to be in front of the lens in a way that will eventually pay dividends for them through their as ever line of jam or their next Netflix or Spotify deal. Like, they work the press the same as Princess Diana did, and they just don't want the downsides of it. You know, it's like, as you know from being a public figure, as I know too, there are upsides and there are downsides. You know, if you have something to promote, you can probably get easily booked. If you write a book, people will probably want to talk to you about it. And that's a blessing. That's a true blessing. The downside is if they want to write about how crappy you look or you're aging poorly or you're just not a likable person, they can. And you have to take your licks like a professional. That's the lesson these two have never learned. It's none of your business what other people think of you. Take your licks like a grown-up and go on living your beautiful life. If you and whine and sue about it all the time, people hate you. And the press that buys ink by the barrel is only more incentivized to loathe you and to feed the people who loathe you with more negative stories. So it's just the reality of being a public figure. You've got to take it like a grown-up. Stop suing people who have endless supply of time and anger toward you. And when you get a lesson from a judge, take it humbly, quietly, and move on.
Thank you, Rockstar. We'll see you again next week.
My pleasure.
Does this court defeat represent a turning point for Prince Harry, or is it simply another chapter in a dispute that shows no signs of ending? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because there are reasonable arguments on more than one side of this discussion. One of the strongest themes throughout the exchange was accountability. Megyn Kelly argued that the legal process gave Prince Harry an opportunity to present his case and that, after the court reached its decision, accepting that outcome would be the appropriate response. Her position was that repeated legal battles and public disputes may ultimately damage credibility rather than strengthen it. Another important point raised was the relationship between public figures and the media. The discussion suggested that fame brings opportunities as well as criticism, and that both are often inseparable. According to the argument presented, public figures can benefit enormously from media attention when promoting projects or causes, but they may also face uncomfortable reporting that they dislike. The debate centered on whether that balance simply comes with the territory. The conversation also questioned whether continuing to frame disputes through lawsuits and public statements is an effective long-term strategy. The suggestion was that responding to every criticism may actually keep controversies alive instead of allowing them to fade. Whether viewers agree with that assessment is, of course, a matter of opinion, but it was a central argument throughout the discussion. Perhaps the biggest takeaway is that legal rulings resolve legal questions, but they rarely settle public opinion. Prince Harry's supporters and critics are likely to interpret this outcome very differently, which means the wider debate surrounding privacy, media coverage, and the royal family is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Now I'd like to hear from you. Do you think this ruling will have a lasting impact on Prince Harry's reputation, or will it simply become another headline in an ongoing story? Share your perspective respectfully in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest discussions. Thank you for watching, and remember, in public life, credibility is built over time, but every major decision has the potential to reshape how people see you.